welcome to Taking Charge. I'm your host, Marilyn Fierro, and today we are in Reading, Pennsylvania at the IIKF Annual Summer Training. In order to be a take charge person, you really need to have an understanding of where you come from. And so in the martial arts, it's a good idea to have the opportunity to cross-train in many different arts. And the idea of this camp is to offer that to the participants. So today we're here investigating and sharing the same experiences that the campers are having in an intensive 3-day training.
In karate, regardless of the interpretation that we practice, we're addressing the habitual acts of physical violence. Kata has always served as the principal vehicle through which these secrets have been passed down for many generations. Now, just because we don't understand what the defensive themes in the kata mean, doesn't necessarily mean that they don't exist. And therefore, you know, in the same way that T.S. Eliot wrote in 1946, we'll not cease from exploration, but at the end of all of our exploring, we'll arrive back at the point from where we first started and know that place for the very first time. Well, you know something? Now here in 1999, we've seemed to have arrived back at the place from which we first started. We now understand that which there is to know. How many times, for God's sakes, have you learned a kata, but remained unaware of what its original defensive themes and corresponding applications represented? A lot of times, haven't you? That's what brings us into contact with this conversation in the first place. In this regard, kata is likened to learning a song in a foreign language, melodic. But unless you understand the language in which the song is being sung, the meaning of its words will forever remain a mystery. This is about indiscriminate learning. We have learned indiscriminately. I know 52 katas. He knows 61 katas. I'm going for my 3rd degree black belt next week, and I need to know yet another kata. As long as I continue to introduce indiscriminate bricks into my foundation, it will never really be solid enough to support the application that they represent. In 1905, my teacher, Kinjo Hiroshi's teacher, Hanashiro Chomo, wrote a book addressing the defensive themes and the application principles of an old exercise called Teigumi, the forerunner to Kumite. He talked about indiscriminate learning. And in the same year, ironically, that he wrote that book, a French philosopher by the name of Henri Poincaré wrote The Hypotheses of Mathematics. In that book, he addressed indiscriminate learning. In fact, he said, science is built upon facts, much in the same way that a house is constructed of brick, but that the mere collection of facts was no more a science than a pile of bricks was a house. And when we learn indiscriminately, without understanding how to link defensive themes to corresponding application principles, as handed down in ritualized practices, i.e. through the kata, then we continue to obscure an otherwise marvelous or brilliant phenomenon referred to as kata. And many people ask, well, what is Koryu Uchinadi? Koryu Uchinadi is merely a reinterpreted and systematized methodology through which this phenomenon is taught. Kata is its principal conduit through which the secrets of manipulating the human body, regardless of what those defensive themes are, they all surround the same phenomenon. Seizing or stretching nerve plexuses, attacking blood vessels, separating connective tissue from bone, twisting or locking joints, takedowns, strangulations, throws, grappling, groundwork, counterattacks, how to impact anatomically vulnerable parts of the body, and how to seize into the cavities of the body unprotected by the skeletal structure, all in an effort to impede motor performance. However you look at it, those applications, lest you kill a person, can only fall into 4 categories. You're either restraining a person, neurologically shutting them down, attacking the respiratory system, or impeding motor performance through temporary paralysis, i.e. impacting anatomically vulnerable zones. And you know something? It's not about styles. Think about it. What exactly is a style? Keeping in mind that there are only 5 sets of principles, tools of impact, punches, kicks, blocks, stances, and strikes. The delivery system around which these 5 sets of tools are built that help facilitate the development is called a delivery system, a style, a methodology. You know, if I have a volunteer bring him up and blindfold him, and have another volunteer from any style, in fact, maybe have several different styles come together, Shotokan, Shido, Wado, Kyokushin, so on, and impact that person, or kick them, or bend the joint, I take the blindfold off them and I ask them, what style hit you first? What style kicked you second? What style or system bent your joint third? Invariably, the answer is always the same. I don't know. Because the biomechanics along which low intensity or higher velocity kinetic energy travels is unique to the human body. It doesn't carry a signature like a 1969 Chateau Rothschild does. It doesn't say, oh, that was a Shotokan sidekick or a Kyokushin Mwashigeri. And we need to understand the way that human body works. And at the end of the day, all it is reinterpreted methodologies of how these tools work. And it's always the outcomes or the goals or the objectives which are sought which determine the corresponding training methodologies used to achieve them. If it's rule-bound, i.e. Wazari Ippon in Ippon Shiai Shobu Kumite, then you can't seize a hold of the testicles, Mike Tyson the ear, elbow him on the side of the face, or what's that over there? You should pound him a couple of times from behind, because they're not the rules. Therefore, the corresponding training methods used to achieve these are diametrically opposite. And it's in understanding the rules of the game that we can best understand the methodologies used to achieve its outcomes. And pretty much that's the story or the chronology of how karate started and how it is today.
If you can compare karate to the English language, it would be safe to say that the punches, kicks, blocks, stances, and strikes could be compared to the ABCs of the language. If that's true, then it would also be safe to say then that the grammatical structures, the words, the sentences, and the paragraphs could be then likened to the kata, which is a composite, a geometrical configuration of those basic techniques. Take the metaphor just a step further, and we can see then that the kata, or the bunkai oyo, the application principles and their meanings can be referred or compared to the structures and what they mean, the stories they tell. But the question I have is, in the karate that we practice in modern times, where is the exercise or the drill which links defensive themes to its corresponding application principles? And I don't mean he does this and you do that and you respond like this. I mean the ones that link us to the joint locks, pressure points, takedowns, strangulation, throws, grappling, and groundwork. The habitual acts of physical violence that Kata has for generations served to address. Well, long before Kumite came into play, a practice in old Okinawa referred to as Teigumi, sometimes referred to as Kake Damashi, was a methodical way through which the blocks, punches, kicks, stances, and strikes were linked to their corresponding defensive themes, and that when practiced properly, reveal the direct. Now, these 5 things you need to know today. The location, that's the anatomical location, and by understanding the way in which the kata went, we already found the tool. So the location dictated the tool. The angle and direction guaranteed what we refer to as a predetermined response. I'll discuss it later today, I think, or tomorrow. Oh, tonight in our lecture, about what we call pain withdrawal reflex. And finally, intensity. So it's location, tool, angle, direction, and intensity. Stand up again, Jonathan, for a minute. Watch this. Watch. I know, simply by understanding the human body, but watch his toes. Now watch. Are you Catholic? You are now. Very well. If I pull him a little further, he's a Muslim, all right? Understanding the way in which the human body responds to pain reflex, I'm better able to understand how the kata works. Teigumi, or kumite spelled backwards, is the forerunner to what we practice today with rules and regulations.
We need to come into contact with the principles upon which this tradition rests. And ladies and gentlemen, they are as simple as the nose on our face today. Yet, remain as obscure as being unable to see the forest because of the trees. And isn't it true? Who said it best? Plato. It's okay to forgive a child who's afraid of the dark. The real tragedy occurs when grown men are afraid of the light. And after many years of seeking out these training methods and bringing them back into a system, although these are not they're not my training methods. They've always existed. But I brought them back from obscurity back into a realm of reality and systematized them into a particular methodology, which we refer to today as I use the old term called Tegumi.
Impact, we're going to do a flow drill around it, all right? We're going to impact here, slide from here, come up underneath him, hit him from here, pull him into here, just dig into the side of the neck like that. Take it over. It's all going to work off of the flow. Watch it from here. Count these with me. Check. Say that with check. Parry. Trap. Now you shoot the Uchinadi. Give it to me again. Block. Check. Parry. Trap. Check. Parry. Trap. When you're working with your partner, if you want to go hard, that's fine. Your arms, not mine. I tell you this, that if you work with what we call learning speed, that's not dangerous. It brings you into contact with the exercise. Nobody's in danger of getting hurt, especially if you miss and block the bicep, and you get hammered in the side of the face on the way by. You say, oh gee, I don't want to do this exercise anymore. The distance between his foot and mine is called malai, kinetic distance. When he swings, shoot, you want to slide inside, bring the chin behind the deltoid from here, protect the mask area. When you jam it from here, please don't grab. It just comes under one. You bring it over to two. Please don't grab it. Just palm it. Trap it this way from here so you can't punch with the other hand. And then when you step forward, turn hips and punch it, bang. He blocks the same way. Two, it comes underneath. You roll it across, trap it, and back again. When I hit, bang, the body normally comes in that position. It's called a aim withdrawal reflex. When I make a base, so I hit it on this angle, watch the neck. If I hit it on, if I attack the medial epicondyle this way, boom, I get another response. And understanding that if I squeeze the thumb, watch the toes, I get it that way. If I dig, oh, you can't see, I'm sorry. If I dig into the periosteum, which is the membrane that surrounds the bone, I get that. If I play the tendons like a harpsichord, I get that. He hammers, bang, I slam from here. Now, all I want you to do from here is slide it around, stay inside and bang it back. Hey. Come around now, come under, yeah, that's right. Good, and hand back. And here, just nice and relaxed. Good. Now, whoa, I got underneath it, it comes up the other hand this way from here. Now he goes underneath it, whoa. And we're from here. Well, either or, I was prepared for it, all right? Okay, come back here. The point I wanted to make is if you understand the principles and the kata, you never need to change anything. Oh, I got to go study boxing to learn how to slam him. You don't need to, oh, I got to be a kickboxer. You don't need that. It's all in the kata. He grabs, boom, boom, I step back, I impact him. The first movement out of the kata from here, as it comes this way, hit here, I impact the back of the neck at the occipital gallbladder 20, I slam him into here. There's the technique. Here's my punch now like this. Watch it. I'm going to attack the barometer right here. Watch the body, watch. Hey, oh, excuse me, I just want to thank you. And as I do that, as I spin him over and do this, watch what I'm doing, Kevin. I'm taking the head of my radius, I'm impacting him at the hypoglossal nerve on the outside of it, slamming him across like this, freeze, and transferring the chi this way. As I bring him up like this, I'm using this hand as I pull back to dig up in, but I need to establish the parameter first. Watch the toes. Good. Now I dig into the hypoglossal nerve. Hey, I take it to the ground. Classical example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The exercise goes like this. It turns around. I come up like this, and then I set like that. very simple. Once you see the context, turn around, you're just going to grab me like that, pull me back like this. Habitual act of physical violence, isn't it? Do I have a choice? I need to respond to it. I let him pull me. I step down and I turn around and get impact body. And if he continues to let go, I just walk away and say, thank you very much. And my outcome has been achieved without confrontation. Tatagawa Zushite Katsu. You understand that term? However, if I was actually able to get him to grab me with intent, and I didn't have to walk away, thanks, I would find myself in a position like this. Come up the middle, and go there. 1, 2, 2. I'm going to impact the brachioradialis. As the body bends over in that position, you notice I did the double high block this way. Watch the index metacarpal. So I hit him down in the position where he comes. I'll just use my thumbs. No, I'll tell you what, I use my baby fingers instead. Look. Okay? Imagine if I use the knuckles. How about the index metacarpal? How about if I just come out hard? This way. I assure you that what happens is the body is no longer being seized. And as I step through the middle of it from here, I drive the knee into the pelvic girdle. I slide him around and bring him over, roll him out, continue to roll him out. Bring him over from here. Block. He's ready to submit. Classical example of understanding kata. These exercises are absolutely no good to you if, please, Tai Chi speed, please. These exercises are absolutely no good to you if you cannot block this. Of what value is your follow-up if you can't get inside that? Now we're back to here again, right? Okay. Jam it, slam it around from here, and this time as you move it, I want you to continue to move it, and just, let's become television evangelists. Soup, slam the demons out of his head. When he goes back like that, he creates what we call a yin position. Yang if you're looking backwards. I want you to use all the pressure that you would in a backyard barbecue. Watch right from here. Just come down like this. Watch with the thumb from here. Oh, as you do that, that's great. We'll go to church. As you do that from here, I want you to step outside him. Relax now. Step outside him. Triceps tendon to triceps tendon this way. Slide around from here, just to the loop from here. Have your partner tuck his chin into his chest. Chin into his chest. Then we're going to go for a ride height. As his head comes up, the impact again. Elbow in here. Slide underneath that. Watch the nose. From here, slide up. Let's see around from here this way. Take him down to the ground, and we're going to take our knee and push him into here. We're going to ask for his other hand. If he doesn't give it to you, ask him that way again. Take him from here and slide on top of him like this. Okay, one more time. Please watch. Foot punch. Do 3 or 4 or 5 if you like. Do 10 or 20 if you need to. In my dojo, we do hundreds of one exercise only. Quickly as I can. Take the palm. Straight to the forehead for today, not the maxilla as we would normally do in an application. The Governor Vessel 26. Slam top of the head, and when it comes back from here, just take your thumb and say thumbs down. Here, slide it in between you got to come up in front of the suprasternal notch. Over the side, you see the big sternal mastoid muscle, the larynx, right in that little groove right there, that little groove. Just slam it that way from here. You'll get that predetermined response. In fact, his body positioning or his response will be directly proportional to your kinetic energy transfer. So bang, and at that moment, you're going to slap like that, and step outside and from here. Remember, it's outside and from here, and you're going to do this here, as you would in, I think it's Kusanku you do? Yeah, Kusanku. Last move of Kusanku. Go from here like this, and just make sure there's nobody behind you. Look around, use your Zan chin. Get your partner to tuck his chin in, and watch, as soon as he rolls over, as his head's coming up, introduce him to the slap again, okay? Idol, go ahead. Elbow. You see the joint lock here? Watch. Here, this way, watch. This way, impact. Slide around from here, grab the hand. Watch the pelvis. That way you know the energy is transferred. Then I'm going to bring it up. As I bring him up, I'm going to bring the arm behind him and use my hand to scoop him around from here. Watch. From here, scoop. And bring him to here, and and I take this knee, slide the elbow into here. If I want to use pain, I dig into here. And I have the trapeze hands from here. Okay. Come on through the root, impact from here. I slide down just a little shot in like that. I come off to the side from here, outside, you see? I come in from here. Of course, in real life, you know, you'd be doing with that, all right, from here. I take him, his chin comes down. I take him over. From here, impact, impact. Slide the hand under. See this hand? That's a fulcrum. That's my impact to move it if he's resisting. But I assure you that after what you've just done to him, and this a couple of times, he's not resisting anymore. And then you bring the hand and lock it under this way. You're attacking the brachioradialis this way, and from here you seize in the last 3 fingers from here. If he tries to grab and reach, all I do is I left, tell him not to move. Now, here's what you do with your fingers. I come under his head that way, this way. As I hold this chicken wing on him like this, and I bring him up to sit him up, and as I sit him up, I step behind him, and I swoop him all the way around like this. Stand up a minute. Just in the same way that I would do this if I had him, if I was doing, you know the Kata Naihanchi? Naihanchi is about fighting, walking people up from behind and trapping drills, despite what you may have heard about it elsewhere. When I lock the person up in Naihanchi and bring him this way from here, I come across and I impact them across the mandible this way, all right? Move away from me for a minute. When you see your exercise and you see the context, you can say, oh, I understand how that works, all right? We'll do Naihanchi another time, all right? But from here, this is what I have on the ground. Now, if you want to, I said if you want to induce pain, I isolate the range of movement, and then I attack here. If I want to grapple or throw him, I swing him up this way, and I take him out that way. If I want to impact him into submission, I attack the popliteal fossa, ladder 40, that way. A lot of things I can do. All I want you to do is get the person down on the ground in this position first. Hook punches, bang. Cast those demons out, impact or seed, whatever you want to do. Boom, Goju does this, all right, from here. Slide up underneath and take him from here. Up underneath, very easy, just here, go. He goes over. And I lock him into place, as his face is coming up, bang, I introduce him to that. There's the fulcrum for the armbar, watch, this way. Impact from here. And if you need 2 or 3, bang, 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 you do that. Wow, it's all there. I lock from here, I hold it. Watch, these aren't going already. Right from here, all right? Learn to read those and learn to exploit them. Now let's just stay on this one exercise, all right? And it all comes from here, which is called Shouju, all right? If you understand the human anatomy, it's pretty easy to manipulate it. When you come up from here, when I got him like this, and I'm going to knee him, I'm not going to try to knee him, I'm going to try to hit him, stand up straight. I want to hit him just, stand up straight. I want to hit him just directly below the belt buckle. That's called the umbilicus. In Japanese they say the hara. Chinese is dankin. For the TCM people we'll call it conception vessel 4. Watch this without even any force. Look, the body bends forward. If I whack a little harder, boom, the body bends forward more. In fact, that body will bend as far forward as my equal proportion to my kinetic energy transfer. And if I know that that body's going to come forward like that, it's going to expose the back of the neck. Case in point, Tenkudai, Kusanku, don't move. When you jump in, and I fire a kick at the end, I'm jumping high, getting my mass moving forward quickly, not to kick high, to kick low. So that his body will go zoom like this. When his body goes like this, I don't go back knuckle, although that's what it looks like, doesn't it? I go way, hoping to jam C7 here. Boom. Because And as you slide back, here, I want you to do this. Just slide back and do this. And then you're going to go like this, watch. Up into the crane and give a small kick like this. So you're going to go here, here up into the white crane, and just give a little kick out like that, and stomp back down again. It's going to look like this, watch. Oh. Now, I'll move you, thank you. From here. I hit, and as I slide back, I drop my hands down. As I come up into the white crane, I do this. His body comes forward, and I go, I kick into the body, and I stomp down on his feet, and I turn his hands up like that.
Keep walking into another instrument, turning it, twisting it. We run down the arm, we use as a defense against various tools of impact. Finally, of course, the tool can also be thrown as well. Today we're going to do an exercise that's been handed down for about 200 years. It's called Heichin Kumisai. Heichin were the class of people who worked in law enforcement in Okinawa, Tuidi. Kumi, you already know what that means, as in kumite. Sai is the name of the instrument that we're going to use. So it's referred to as Heichin Kumisai. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your ready position. Are they open? Conversation works as this. Do this. So even if he blocks it, block it. All right, go. Now from here, I'm going to use this upward momentum from here, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to strike here. My opponent, who's in this position right now, is going to go, ah! Yeah, this way.
Karate-do is one such tradition that teaches us that the source of human weakness is internal, not external. Hence, the journey has always got to be inward and never outward. And it's learning to discover the place in which human weakness resides that reveals the location in which all of our battles have to be first fought and won before any of this philosophy can ever be applied in making the daily living of our lives any more productive. Don't regret the past, fear the future, or miss the moment. What resides behind us or whatever exists before us is nothing near as important as what resides within us. And Karate-do is a tradition which teaches us that. You know, it's funny, the Chinese have an interesting maxim. It says, there are many paths that lead up a mountain, but only one moon to be seen by those who achieve its summit. You know, it's funny, when you start training in the martial arts, as I did back in the early 60s, there were many styles of karate. Today I see only one, and it deals with understanding the principles that I've had the opportunity to present to you today.